Okay. Good afternoon. This is John Smith.
And James Anthony.
And we're here today to talk to you a little bit about pop culture and things going on in the world today.
You know what I gotta do, man, before we talk about pop culture?
What do you gotta do?
I gotta shake it off, brother.
Shake it off?
I gotta
You
just
gotta
shake
do
it
Taylor
off.
Swift?
Well, who's that?
Taylor Swift?
Yeah, that sounds like a reliable rifle.
A reliable rifle, no.
Taylor Swift. Hand me that Taylor Swift, son.
Yeah.
So what's tell me about pop culture, like soda? Are we talking about soda pop?
No, we're not talking about soda pop. We're talking about the entertainment world today, you know? What's going on? Like, for instance, today I was surfing online and I saw that Terminator's getting a reboot.
No way.
Yeah, man. Yeah, totally.
Get out of here.
Get out of here. John Schwarzenegger.
This can't be Arnold.
Oh, God. He's supposedly in it, but
He's
it's got...
Get on his oxygen mask. Down. Come here, John. What's his name? John Connor.
John Connor. No, so it's got Linda Hamilton in it, you know, from her role back in 1991. You know, did you believe that? It was 1991.
Dude, whoa. What's weird is 1991, you're already 27.
Me?
No, like someone born in 1991 is already 20. Like they're
right?
well beyond drinking age, well beyond voting.
Good Lord.
Well beyond renting a car age, well beyond 25.
Having a breakdown.
More,
you know?
yeah, exactly.
Totally.
You know what though? That's really ageless. That doesn't discriminate.
No, totally not.
It kind of what's the word? Favors older
gentlemen.
Yeah, older. we're getting there, right? Well, I'm not a gentleman, so I'm just older.
Yeah, just older.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Of course, I'm 30, so it can't be that.
You're young still.
That's right. Yeah, it only hurts a little bit when I bend my knees.
Exactly.
Reach down from the
you
ground.
got plenty of time to go until you start falling apart like me.
Oh yeah, how are those knees?
Well, they're all right. They're all right these days.
Are they the bee's knees?
Yeah, bee's knees. So anyway, Terminator is getting a reboot, and so they have this image on the internet, right? And it's all the current stars that are starring in this movie, and there's no men in it.
No men?
There is no men in as far as the leads go, and this seems to be a trend that I'm noticing in entertainment these days, where like it is evil now to be a man, and especially to be a white man.
Oh my goodness! You know what? It might be happening. It's finally happening.
Finally happening.
The white man has been
overthrown.
How did you say it? How would you say it? I should ask. The white man has been on top. Sexually? No, I'm just kidding. That's
sexually?
Terrible. No. Oh god, we're gonna cut that out.
Yeah, we'll get that one going.
So the white man has been. I guess the word would be lucky or blessed or favored.
Favored.
Yeah, just favored for some reason.
Since the dawn of this country.
I don't understand it, but you know what? I remember culturally, I was talking to some of my Hispanic friends back in college, and they said there was this. They had a white friend who was like, "Oh, I'm gonna go get a tan," and they're like, "No. It's so pretty to be white. It's a Mexican thing." There's like different classes of people based on skin tone.
I've heard of that.
I thought we were past that, but I guess
we're not past that.
I guess you know what it is, man. People like what they're familiar with. Guess what? I happen to be a white dude, as is my friend John Smith, my co-host, my love partner. But I'm telling you, I already forgot my line of thought.
I noticed you did.
Dude, isn't that terrible? Like, it's just I got
trailed right off.
I gotta tell you, I'm not even gonna go into it. It is literally gay. I had a gay dream.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It was just so awkward. Here's why it was awkward.
Why was it awkward?
Because the person in this dream exists in real life, and I ran into him the day after the dream.
What?
And your instinct when you have a dream about someone is to say, "Hey, I had a dream about you."
But did you want to talk about the dream?
No, I did not. Hey, what's up, buddy? By the way, we had gay sex in my dream last night.
Wow.
That was we packed some fudge at the Elmer's factory.
At the Elmer's factory.
Oh God, it's so why am I obsessed with poop and just?
I don't know, man. I don't know. It's just
cut the cheese.
Cheese beneath.
We'll get better at this.
We will, totally. This is just our first inaugural,
That's right.
show. we decided to get together and, do what we do best, which is shoot the shit,
We are very talented at that.
Very talented at just going back and forth. And we figured, we'd share that with the world,
That passion. Mm-hmm. The passion. The desire.
The desire.
All right, so my question is, and this could be edited, whatever, doesn't matter. Do you want to do one long segment to cut and paste, or do you want to stop and record a little, like one?
I figure we just need to just let it go.
Okay, so that way we don't miss anything.
Right, because part of the whole thing, I think, in doing any kind of show, is having the back and forth, and it's live.
Absolutely. Like
exactly.
You can't.
So you can't edit out the burps.
No,
The burps and the farts.
They add to it.
Totally.
Speaking of farts, this is pretty gross. I live 2.5 minutes from my church. From my driveway to the church doors, 2.5 minutes.
2.5.
2.5. Okay, so I was at the church earlier. I was actually playing the drums. It was real fun.
I heard you play the drums.
I play the drums. We'll talk about that in a minute.
All right.
Here's the fart story. I farted in my car. It wasn't anything spectacular. It didn't sound,
No musical instrument.
No, just, normal run-of-the-mill. Okay, whatever. It was atrocious.
Was?
It's one of those ones that offends me. It was my own fart. Everyone loves the smell of their own brand.
Right.
You can tolerate your own. But I couldn't even tolerate this. So I rolled the windows down. I got, it's a 4-door car. I rolled the windows down. And so it's a 4-door car. I roll all 4 windows down for 2.5 minutes, about a mile. So about a mile. And then when I got home, I rolled the windows up. Guess what it still smelled like?
What?
Shit.
Damn.
I know. Yeah.
It burned your eyes out.
It was really offensive. I actually parked the car with the door. I was like, forget the windows. I opened the doors for an hour and then sprayed some Gain in there. Like,
right.
What's that stuff?
Febreze.
Yeah, there you go. Febrezed it up, man. And it basically what happened is it just neutralized. It didn't smell like Febreze anymore, but it didn't smell like fart either.
Right.
So it's like it's like positive, negative. They cancel each other out. All right. So musical instruments. Besides the skin flute, what else do you play, John Smith?
Me, I am just an artist. I just make pretty photos.
Pretty photos.
Yep.
Okay. Poses.
Photos. Like I am a graphic designer, I guess you would call that.
Graphic designer. So
I design graphics.
So arts, maps, graphs, and charts. Or
yeah, I also do a little web design, a little web design on the side.
I like it.
Yeah.
What's your favorite part about it?
I like being able to take somebody's ideas and make them reality.
Dude, I'm telling you, that sounds awesome.
I've actually gotten to the point now where I've been doing it long enough where there isn't really something that you can't give me an idea of and I can't make it a reality.
Okay, so for example, this is just me making stuff up, kind of being ridiculous. If I wanted to have a mascot for my brand new XFL football team.
Correct.
And I want the mascot to be a cross between Superman and Spider-Man and the Wolverine. You could
do it. Do it.
Get out of here.
No.
Photoshop or whatever.
Photoshop, Illustrator.
Can you put my face on them?
Sure.
Let's do it, man.
Well, let's do it.
It'll be the James Arene Super Spiders.
Super Spiders.
That'd be a good one, yeah.
Super Spiders.
Yeah, right. Now entering the field, James Marine.
Super Spiders.
That's super gay is what that is.
Oh, man. So you were talking about playing musical instruments.
That's right. So I'm going to give you three guesses.
3 guesses.
What instruments, plural, do I play? And there's 2, so you have to answer both of them correctly.
I would say, since I know you well, drums.
That is correct.
And you play I'm going to say guitar.
Guitar is a very good guess. I would like to learn how to play the guitar, but if I were to be in front of a band, it's not happening. Try again.
I don't know.
Think what? So guitar is string.
Mm-hmm.
You got oboe and flute, which are woodwinds.
You played the sax?
No. What? No. What's the other percussion instrument?
You got drums.
That you bang with your hands.
The tambourine?
The tambourine.
Oh, the keyboard.
Yeah, there you go, man. The keyboard.
You can play the piano?
Oh, baby. Yes, I can.
That's sweet.
It is, I do not know how to read music anymore. I did when I was a kid.
I am not I can't figure it out.
It is so crazy.
Mm-hmm.
This is going to be kind of funny, but I was so indecisive. And guess what? 30 years on this earth, I'm still pretty indecisive. Some days I'm like, I'm deciding that I'm not going to make up my mind. I
Right.
can't do it. So part of the personality, but it's also anyway. Let me get back to the story. So when I was in college, I majored in chemistry, minored in math, and then I was like, "Oh, math's too hard." As soon as I took Cal 3, it was like, "This is that's hilarious. That's just stupid." that was wishful thinking. That wasn't even wishful thinking. It was like, "What the hell was I thinking?" So anyway, I switched my minor to music, and I studied music theory for a couple years.
That's cool.
Or a couple semesters, so one full year.
Mm-hmm.
And I learned how to do this. You ready? $70,000 later. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Not bad, right?
Not bad.
Not bad.
Not bad at all.
Not really good. But
Sexy voice.
thank you, sir. Let's get it on. So anyway, what happened was after a year of taking the music classes, it really made my hobby like into work, and that sucked.
I bet.
Yeah, but we'll come back to the graphic design in a second. But like for me, I just like to freestyle, just like the jam. When they're like, play me I'll just throw a little terminology out there, like a minor seventh or a fifth. I can't even make stuff up. I forgot all the the terminology. But anyway, it gets really technical really fast.
Right.
And it takes the fun out of it. Now, the cool thing about the drums is I can play with whatever instrument. It's appropriate to have that rhythm, with the
right.
Check, boom, boom, check. So, unfortunately, I don't have the same talent with the piano. So, if I were to just have to pick an instrument to like really grow on, I would definitely favor the drums because I'm already that's already my strength, and I could definitely see myself just becoming like the next Mark Portnoy or Neil Peart of Rush. So, I mean, that would be fun. It'd have to be quite a challenge. But anyway, okay. So back to back to taking a hobby and making it profitable. For me, with music, I lost the fun. It literally took the fun out of it. It made me think of okay, so think of it this way. Like you're a masseuse, right? You love working on people, you make them feel great and relaxed. And then you come home and then you have to massage I was going to say the dog. That wouldn't really make any sense.
Massage the dog.
Okay, maybe cut that. That was terrible.
No, you're good.
So let's say you are a hair cutter, a hairstylist. You really have fun doing it, right?
Right.
And then you go to class and you're like, they're trying to train you in the specifics, the techniques, the tools. And you're like, dude, I know these are scissors. I know these are called clippers. I got my own style. I like it. It makes it, I don't know, too professional, I guess. And as far as music, I'm not professional. I am just relaxed, laid back, chill, freestyle, fun. Now for you, with a graphic designer, you turned it in from fun hobby to profitable profession. Is that correct?
Yes.
How did that start?
You make a little money doing that, yeah.
How'd that start?
That started as a kind of a side. I went to college, and I was going to go be a painter. I had taken some art classes, and I was really talented, and I was going to be an artist, a painter. And I really didn't know anything about, commercial, design or anything like that. And I had an art teacher in college, my first semester, who really kind of took me under her wing and showed me how to, do things on the computer, which I had never really used a computer for design ever. I got into a little thing called Macintosh, because back then it wasn't a Mac, it was Macintosh.
Back in the 60s, that's right.
Back in the 60s, No, like late 90s, early 2000s,
Was that an Apple II back then, or what was it?
It was
later than
that,
right?
was just when the G3s were coming out.
Okay, yeah.
So,
Super Gay 3, is that what that means?
So, no. So, I started using the computer to do design. And I really loved it. I really fell in love with it.
Did it come naturally?
Yeah.
Awesome, dude.
That's one of the things about art that I really enjoy is just how creative you can be. Someone comes and gives you an idea, and just making that reality for somebody else is one of my passions.
You know what? I couldn't possibly figure out how you do this. So you hand drew stuff.
Yeah.
First.
Yeah, first. Yeah.
And then when you transfer to the computer, you used a mouse.
Yeah.
There was no touchscreen back in the late 90s.
No, there was nothing like anything like that.
Yeah, so how did you like train your hand to become a pen?
You get these things called Wacom tablets. At the time, they were called Wacom tablets, and you'd have a pen.
That sounds like a Star Wars creature.
Wacom. You'd have a pen, and it was like drawing on the computer. You could actually draw on the computer with this tablet.
I know what you mean. Yeah, almost like an Etch-a-Sketch kind of
Pretty
thing,
much,
electronic,
just like that.
and hundreds of dollars more expensive.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
That was really expensive.
You know what's crazy? A cheap smartphone today, is like more advanced than the crap that they had when they flew to space.
I know, isn't that crazy?
It's wild.
That is just...
And kids are just taking selfies of their balls and stuff.
Exactly.
It's
Stuff like that. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's crazy. So speaking of that's a conversation all on its own. Smartphones. Let me ask you this. From the moment you wake up out of bed, John, how many minutes go by before you look at your phone?
I wake up with my phone. So
no!
You know,
like a teddy bear holding it?
No, like the alarm goes off and I immediately reach for it. And so when people are texting me, from the start of my day until the end of my day.
God,
and I hate that.
That's annoying. Yeah.
I went 2 years, about 2 years ago, I went 2 years with not even having a phone. Not even using a smartphone, not even having a phone.
How did you do it?
With Max, you can receive messages and stuff through iMessage and get phone calls that way. I just did without it.
So you still communicated.
Right. It seems crazy to somebody now.
What year was this?
This was even last year.
So 2016, 2017?
Yeah, no phone. And I loved it, because I wasn't one of these people that goes in a restaurant and is sitting there. You're supposed to be on a date, and you're like, da-da-da-da. And they have this thing now. Okay?
I'm sorry, I wasn't paying attention. I had my phone. What were you saying?
Right. They have this thing now where, you go on dates, and instead of talking to one another, you sit there and text each other back and forth.
That's insane.
You sound fucking crazy.
That's insane. It is nuts.
No, that is how our culture has gone.
That's the, I read today about how humanity struggles with a downward pull. Mm-hmm. I think that's one of the downward pulls.
Oh, man. Smartphones. Steve Jobs knew what he was doing when he created that.
God, he was
a genius, man.
Yeah, brilliant. It's one of those things like sex. It's one of those things like water. It's one of those things like the internet. Well, maybe not water. Water's pretty damn important. But here's what I was getting at. Smartphones are like sex. Before you had it, you didn't need it. Now that you've had it,
you need it.
You need it.
But you get too much of it, and it's just not fun anymore.
Yeah, yep. That's like, I bet a pornographic movie film actor would say the same thing.
Probably. They probably don't like having sex as much as
it would be
the average
synthetic,
person. Oh, God.
I can't imagine.
I wouldn't be able to do that.
I read a book, or not a book, what's it called? I read an article once about this guy. He's a editor, producer, blah, blah, blah. And he interviewed, this is hilarious, he interviewed a porn star.
Right.
A male porn star. And followed him around on the set and watched the crap he did. And he said at the end, I'm not even going to get into the explicit stuff. It was crazy. But he said at the end of the interview that rather than being a porn star, he would gladly eat a cup of live cockroaches than do the crap that this guy's got to do. Like,
damn.
Isn't that nuts?
Wow.
You think it'd be like any teenage boy's dream. It's gonna be great, and then an adult man is saying that is awful.
I'm sure it's not fun.
I can't imagine.
Because think about what you don't see.
Yeah.
Think about what you don't see.
The 50 dudes in the room.
Yeah.
We don't even. I learned what a fluffer was. That's disgusting. I don't even want to define that.
I just can't handle it.
Yeah, it's awful. So speaking of touching people, is that a good name for the show?
Touching people? I don't know.
Touching lives?
Touching lives. I had a job, one of my first jobs out of college was working for the University of Alabama.
Okay.
And one of the actual thing that this ad agency came up with was called Touching Lives. And we were making so many jokes about this. It's like Touching Lives, What
was the program?
Well, the program was for admissions.
Okay.
So it was all about how the University of Alabama touches people's lives, and it had these commercials where the people would touch something and it would ripple out and everything like that. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, sounds a little what's the word?
Generic.
Well, generic. Yeah, not just generic, but when you idealistic sounds
Yeah,
kinda idealistic.
yeah.
It's like you come to University of Alabama,
Touching lives.
get a degree, and you will be able to touch people's
Oh,
lives.
one of the things that the ad agency did was they went out to like South America to film a river because they couldn't get the type of river they wanted, and they charged the university for this. So that's taxpayer dollars at work right there.
To record flowing water.
Flowing water.
Well, that must have been some badass flowing water. Would it have like goldfish in it or something?
I couldn't tell the difference in fucking like creek down the road.
Yeah, I saw Amazon. What's the word? I think it's called the Fire Stick, the thing you stick in the back of your TV in the HDMI port.
Yeah, they have those.
Okay, so Amazon has a screensaver because human beings, we can't just watch a blank screen nowadays. We have to have stuff to look at.
Don't they have those that are jailbroke that you can like watch anything?
Yeah, I've heard that, and they're expensive to buy on the black market.
Black market.
Yeah. Anyway, what I was getting at was Amazon has a product that when you're watching TV and it just pauses, you like leave the room for hours or whatever.
Has a screensaver?
It has a screensaver with the world's like best pictures.
That's cool.
Yeah, it is super cool. And I've just waited for the screensaver to come up. Like I've been disengaged during the TV show, and the screensaver comes on, and I'm like, oh. And some of the pictures are here in the United States, like basic spot. It's like Southern Beach in California, and it's
that's
freaking
just
fabulous.
It's that idea that you want to be somewhere you're not.
Man, exactly. That makes me think. One of my goals in life, I'm just figuring this out as a late 20, early 30-year-old, is to travel and to realize, to just experience what the majestic intricacies that God has put on this earth in the living creatures and the non-living creatures like rocks, the landscape and that sort of thing. But also cultures. Holy crap! Like living in the United States is great. I love it. We got freedom. But I know I am a little bit aware because I took intercultural business class in college and watch TV and movies. But I'm aware that our culture is pretty goddamn arrogant. We are what they call ethnocentric. Our culture is like the best and the greatest, and you should be like us. And it's literally infecting other countries.
Yeah.
This Western, what's it called? I think it's just literally called Western culture. We got the 5.
Okay.
4 to 5. So
Yeah.
So anyway, the Western culture is spreading like our clothing styles, movie styles, sense of humor, standards of living. All of that is kind of like the rest of the world's kind of conforming and doing what we're doing because they think that we are. Well, honestly, annoying. I find if I were to watch myself from like a third bird's eye view or something, or like a fly on the wall, I'd probably be like, "This guy's interesting, but God, he's annoying." I don't know why I'm talking about myself that way.
That's fine, man. Yeah, fine.
All right. So speaking of personalities,
okay.
if you were single, 2018, let's go younger. Let's turn back the clock. Say we're in our early 20s.
Right.
What kind of personality, knowing what you know now, what kind of personality would you seek in a future wife?
It's hard to say because I am married. So
you're biased.
So I'm totally biased. I thought that I'll tell you what attracted me to my wife now. One of the first things that happened when we started dating is I went for our first date, and she had me go on a scavenger hunt to find her.
What?
Yeah, like it blew my mind. I thought I was going to show up at her house. She sent me an address, and it ended up being the address of a store, like a sweet shop. And I walk in there, and I ask for, this girl
Jane.
that I've been talking to. And they gave me a packet, and the packet had clues on how to find, the next place that I went to get a clue from. So yeah, I went on a scavenger hunt.
That is incredibly.
That's intriguing.
It's original, thoughtful,
intriguing.
Gosh, no doubt, man.
Very movie-like. You talk about like moments in life that mirror movies.
So instantly, you were like,
smitten.
I like this.
Oh, I was smitten.
Smitten,
like
good
totally.
use of the vocab word smitten. That's a good one. So let me tell you how I met my wife.
Yeah, well, tell me about it.
So my brother married a girl that worked at Best Buy. And this girl, let's call her, I don't know, I'll make up a name, Misty.
Right.
So Misty worked with who is now my wife. Her name is, for security reasons, we'll call her Patricia.
Patricia.
Yeah, Patricia.
Nice, Patricia.
All right, so Misty and Patricia, they work together. Patricia's been friends with Misty for years and knows my brother. So Phil is my brother. He and Misty get married, and guess who's the best man at the wedding? Brother, what's my name? Brother James.
Brother James.
Brother James Anthony.
Brother James Anthony.
That's what I'm talking about. So I'm looking all fly up in that tux, and my now wife, Patricia,
Right.
unbeknownst to me, that I know that my future wife was in the pews at the church. She showed up, and her date dumped her that day. She showed up alone, looking fine, in a kind of like an olive colored dress.
Man,
hair,
that got screwed
hair
over.
down. Yeah, I know, right? But here's the craziest thing. Because they've been friends for years, Patricia and Misty have been friends for, I think, a couple years at this point. We could have met so many times before then, but the Lord orchestrated it in such a way where it was a unique day.
God works in mysterious ways.
October 14th, 2011. It was
Yeah.
a very meaningful day. And of course, there was a wedding reception. This is the funniest part, I guess, that maybe drew attention to me was I am an emotional basket case.
Right.
And many people in my my personality type, we kind of, as a Scorpio, we kind of get emotional. So anyway, I cried a bunch. Like when I was digging for, as a best man, you dig for the ring,
Right.
the wedding ring, right? And I dug for the ring, and I'm like bawling my eyes out because I was so happy. I'm happy for my brother. He's really doing it. He's really getting married.
Is this your brother, or just a friend of yours?
This is my blood brother.
Oh,
we came out of the
okay.
same
So you're
vagina.
happy,
Yep.
yeah.
That's how we're brothers, right there. Brothers from the same mother. So, wedding reception comes up, and I got. Remember earlier we talked about I played a musical instrument,
Yeah.
the skin flute, but
Yeah,
I also
skin
play.
flutes.
I also play the piano, the keyboard.
Right.
I brought my portable electric keyboard, and I got. At that point I was still drinking. I had my courage juice.
Yeah,
Also-
joy juice.
Yeah, joy juice, a few beers, whatever the select drink was. It's been a while now. But after mustering up the courage, it came the time for the wedding coordinator to introduce me as the best man and musical guest. So I start playing a song that I sung to, and remember, do, re, mi, la, so. I am no singer. But I mustered up the courage to sing and play piano at the same time, all for my brother.
Look at that.
And meanwhile, she's in there soaking this in. Patricia's in the
the
stands.
audience.
Yeah, in the audience, like, who is this guy? Oh my gosh, he's so dreamy. What's funny? The rest of the night, I didn't even dance with her. I didn't even talk to her.
Right.
She just left early. She left.
Right.
Gone. And then it was 3 weeks. 3 weeks goes by. We start communicating on Facebook. I was like, oh yeah, her.
Oh, that guy. That
Cute
lady,
girl.
That
yeah.
girl.
Yeah. And several hour long phone conversations later, we started dating, took her out, and the rest is history. That's right, man.
Yeah. So, this being our first inaugural episode, I feel like we should talk about something that's near and dear to our hearts.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Should we talk about addiction?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Can I say that?
I think you can say that.
Yeah, it is such a huge part
Of what makes both of us, actually what brought us together.
Yeah, no kidding. Nothing brings people together like tragedy, food,
and addiction. Yeah. So, I have been remarkably impressed with just the community that comes out, when you start talking about how you have a problem.
Yeah.
I started actually a YouTube channel, about addiction.
I remember you saying
addiction
that.
and my addictions with...
How's it going?
It's going okay.
How many episodes? Two?
Just
One?
two,
Okay, yeah.
But I'm hoping to add some more.
Man, that'd be great. I
Yeah.
love to be a guest.
Yeah, hoping to add some more. But I mean, it's changed my life, for the better.
Okay.
You know?
So the addiction. So what you're saying is the addiction experience has changed your life for the better.
Yes.
What do you mean?
That whole idea that, I've become a better person now that I've acknowledged that, I'm not like everybody else. I'm sick, And addiction is a sickness, there's this stigma we have in society where it's like, oh, you're an addict, or oh, you're an alcoholic, or oh, you're, an opiate addict, which is the big thing now. It's like opiates are bad, which I don't necessarily believe. I think some people absolutely need them, but they are definitely overprescribed, and people definitely take it to obsess. But
everything has balance.
I think everything has balance, and I don't think it's very what is the word? Responsible to just limit opiates across the board because some people have a problem.
You mean with the Schedule 1 narcotic?
Yeah, I would say that, I'm for anybody that absolutely needs them to be able to get them. I just can't take them.
Yeah.
I just can't take them.
Unfortunately, John, we have a bunch of turds in society that take advantage of that.
Yeah.
So this is going to be news to our listeners, but I'm a school teacher today, and I actually did not have an education background. Instead, I have a pharmacy background. I worked behind the pharmacy, the drug counter, for about 11 years.
Damn.
Yeah. So I got to see it, and I got to see the changes in the legal system too.
Yeah.
I remember when hydrocodone and those types of drugs, those pain. I remember when the painkillers, the narcotic pain relievers, they were accessible.
Yeah.
And I don't mean by me as a technician. I'm talking about to the community, to the patients.
At large.
Exactly.
When you hear things like, 200 prescriptions getting filled in this little podunk town in Missouri in 1 month.
Dude. I worked for a big box retailer, so we had enough customer base to say no to the funny scripts. But let me tell you a classic example. There's two different kinds of scripts. One of them would be just a BS script, and hydrocodone was snuck in. The pain medicine was snuck in. So, for example, they'd have a prescriber. For example, they prescribe a anti-inflammatory drug, non-narcotic, 20 pills, 1 BID, which means 1 pill twice a day as needed for pain. Okay, and then they prescribe. Oh, that's right. This person's depressed. We're going to throw the antidepressant on there as well, right? Mm-hmm. That's drug number 2, all in the same script. And then drug number 3. Vicodin, 5/500 milligrams, quantity 180, 1 TID. It's a 90-day supply of a pain medicine, 3 times a day. So 90 days just snuck in with this antidepressant and it's anti-inflammatory. And the funniest part was at the end they threw in a multivitamin, just the icing on the cake.
Right.
Yeah, got 1 MTV, 1 multivitamin, QD, which means daily. So whenever we saw those kind of scripts, I always had to show it to a colleague. I was like, dude, look at this is hilarious. Dr. Q, Dr. Quack. It was fun. So there's 2 types of scripts. The other one was just clearly a pill mill. Yeah. And what I mean is the pain clinic that you go to where you could say my head itches. There's here's 120 Xanax. Sometimes I get nervous on airplanes. Here's 50 Xanax for as needed. Just take a handful as needed. Just ridiculous instructions. And then on the same script, they'd have a muscle relaxer and a pain reliever, all built in one script. So it's when we got those prescriptions, I didn't even show those to anyone else. I was just like, oh no, here, turn around, try again, go somewhere else. And it's like I said, it's really funny when they have both the legitimate script with. Well, I don't even know if legitimate's the right word, if they're just sneaking in an antidepressant to make it look normal.
Right.
And then the second script is some of Vicodin and hydrocodone.
Right.
So, anyway, so that was part of my experience. Do you want to hear a funny drug story?
Sure.
A pharmacy story?
Pharmacy, go ahead.
Okay, so at this point, I had been working for this particular pharmacy. This is probably about 2010. So for 3 years, from 07 to 10, I've been working at this pharmacy. And it's grown and grown and grown. The customer base got huge, so we got really busy really fast.
Right.
We must, the average pharmacy probably has 4 or 5, they call them pharmacy technicians that work there. The average pharmacy had 4 or 5 pharmacy techs working for them. We had, I think, 15.
Right.
Crazy big. We'd fill 750 scripts a weekday easy. crazy busy. So of course, not all 15 people at once. That'd be really crowded. Probably 7 to 9 employees on the floor at once. So anyway, here's the story. I'm filling medicine, and the checkout count. I'm a tech, so I can count pills, I can type scripts, or I can ring up customers. And all the above. They have us doing all sorts of different tasks, not just counting pills. A lot of people think we just put
count
pill in a cup. There it is. 1, 2, 3. Oh. Lost count. Gotta start over. 1, 2. So anyway, the line got busy, and I get stuck up front for a while. The cashier. We had 3 registers. I'm the 3rd register. So after a few customers, nonchalant, business as usual. Then this guy comes up. It's a couple, but the guy he has a cane, and he kind of I don't know if he struggled to walk over to the.
Right.
He was obviously some sort of disability, some sort of physical disability, and then when he talked to me, he talked first, not his wife, but him, which is completely fine. If your medicine's for you, you need to speak up. Here's what happened when he spoke up. Dave. He couldn't say his name. He couldn't say his own name. And I thought it was a joke. I thought it was a joke. I was like, okay, because I had never heard of a
speech impediment like that.
I guess not. Let me think. So 2010, I was barely in 20s.
Yeah. Not
really exposed. I've seen a lot, but not that much at the pharmacy. So the guy starts going, and I went, "Are you messing with me?" I said, "Are you messing with me?" And here's the funniest part. I was in a band at the time. I was in a band, and my friend and I from the band, we're going to have lunch. He showed up right before this customer got there. So he's witnessing all this.
Right.
He hears me say, "Are you kidding me?" And then now his wife chimes in. His wife goes, "He had a stroke. He is lucky to be alive. He suffered bypass, suffered. And I just so happen to be here." She was anything but pleasant.
Right.
And I couldn't help but think oh, he's really lucky to be married to you. Yeah, that's great. So anyway, we got him out, and then I had a Taco Bell with my friend, and then shortly after I had diarrhea.
All right.
That's my story.
Oh,
I'm sticking to it.
I'm glad we could close with that. So anyway, this has been our show. This was definitely an introductory for us. We'll definitely be trying to do this every week.
Absolutely.
So we really appreciate y'all listening, and have a great day.
We will talk to you soon.
All right.